Hey, this is Jamey with Thematic Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Zorro, the dice game. I just got to play this yesterday, and I played two-player. It plays up to 6 players, but I had a lot of fun with it with 2 players, and I want to tell you why. There are a few different little reasons here. One is, for such a small, light game, it actually has a really nice sense of progression. Basically in the game, you're competing to take over as the new Zorro, the new defender of the people. And there are kind of various stages to that. One is that you are performing a heroic feat by matching dice that you roll, Yahtzee style, where you can roll up to 3 times, matching the dice that you roll with some symbols on those heroic feats. And if you do so, you get an item card. What are they called? Item cards in this game? Yeah. You get an item card that makes you a little bit better. Maybe it gives you some re-rolls or a new dice that you can use. And then along the way, you can also defeat scoundrels and defeat the main villain, which can depend on the scoundrels that you defeated throughout the game. So there's a sense of progression throughout the game in terms of the challenges as well as what you're getting, because you're getting better items that improve your skills as you defeat. As you do certain things, you'll get new dice as well, and so you get better dice that you can use, and each of the dice that you gain are a little customized. So there's a nice sense of progression to it. I really like that in the game. My favorite mechanism probably is the idea of teaming up in the game. So when you go to work on a heroic feat, you can try to do it alone. You can try to attempt it alone, or you can invite other players to join in. And any number of other players can put their pawn on that card and say, hey, I'd like to help out with that. You get to choose one of those players to actually go along with you. So if you're playing in a bigger group and more than one player says, yes, I want to help, you choose one of them. You can't just have everybody help out. And then if there's some way, I won't go into all the rules, but there are some ways that the other player who's helping you can actually help you mechanically achieve that heroic feat. I really like this mechanism. And if you do, both of you benefit. You get the item card that was underneath that heroic feat, and the other player gets a random item card. And this is really nice, especially early in the game. The game actually recommends it early in the game when you have no power-ups at all. It's a really good time to invite other players to join in. Yes, they are getting a little powerful too, but that you are increasing your chance that you'll accomplish the heroic feat instead of just failing. And if you fail, you get nothing. So I thought that was a really clever way of adding some positive player interaction to the game and involving other players when it's not their turn. The last thing I want to mention, you can kind of see it in the photo that I've used for this video. There's a nice little thematic element that I like about the game, and it ties into a mechanism, which is as you earn these heroic feats, you put the card in front of you, and then when you earn another one, you slide it next to the card, and there's a little symbol that matches up between them that reminds you that you gain a die when you do that. That's when you gain a new die. You pull it off one of the scoundrels, and you put it in that card row. And eventually you might add another heroic feat to that row. You might end up having several if they're the same color that can trigger the end of the game. But if they're different colors, you could end up having 3, 4, 5 of them. And I really liked at the end of the game, or even as I added each one, I could say, okay, I've done this thing, because they're named thematically and artistic and illustrated thematically. I've rescued the barkeep. I now helped the old lady cross the street, and then I rescued a cat from a tree. And that story is right there in front of you throughout the game, and it grows throughout the game. And it was really nice to look, just a little thematic thing to look at the end of the game and be able to say, oh, I did that, and that. And because of the titles that were used on them, I was able to just say them out loud. I didn't have to interpret it in any way. I could just say it. So I thought that was a really clever little thematic touch for such a light game as well. So yeah, that's Zorro the Dice Game. If any of these mechanisms remind you of another game that you really like the mechanisms in, or if you've played this game and have a favorite mechanism in it, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks.